day of madness, really, of a day of psychological warfare being waged upon the people of Australia. And I think it's becoming increasingly clear now that Australia is the test ground to just see how far the New World Order can push and what people will take. Make no mistake, guys, this is full-blown, all-out psychological divide and conquer warfare. And I just had a friend tag me in the article. I think it was from the Bulletin. It might have been the Daily Mail. Anyway, in regards to Eve Black, the young lady who dared to question the police officers who pulled her over at the border crossing, and she dared to stand up for her sovereign constitutional rights. And she simply asked, have I committed a crime? Have I disturbed the peace? Am I free to go? And of course she's free to go because she has not committed a crime. And you remember that movie with Tom Cruise? I forget the name of it, but they could be charged with pre-crime, right? If they thought you were going to commit a crime, you could be arrested and detained and against your will and so on. And so being suspected of being sick or being infected with the dreaded Rona is turned into a type of pre-crime, right? That you might be sick, so you need to be held under house arrest. Quarantine is for people who are sick. House arrest is for people who are being held against their will without committing a crime. It's just absolutely ludicrous. And so this brave young woman who learnt about her rights as a sovereign being and dared to challenge the cops and stand her ground, watching the Australian public completely vilify, character assassinate and crucify this young lady is an absolute disgrace. And here we are, a nation, you know, a proud, freedom-fighting, sovereign nation who, due to the psychological warfare being waged upon them, have a manipulated sense of reality whereby they are now attacking the very people standing up and fighting for their own freedom. And this is scary times, guys, because you've only got to remember that if those who don't learn from history are destined to repeat it, and it's very clear that over the last 100 years human nature has not changed very much at all. And people always say Adolf Hitler, he killed so many people, or Idi Amin, he killed so many people, Pol Pot and the Khmer Rouge killed so many people. Ordinary people did the killing because they were manipulated psychologically to attack a perceived enemy. And looking at how this young woman and this group of people who want to stand up for our constitutional freedoms are being vilified and attacked, wow. Australia is starting to look a lot like Nazi Germany. Can you believe that? The very forms of tyranny that we're so proud that our ancestors stood up and fought and died for and ran at machine guns for, the very type of fascism and communism that we fought is now alive and well in Australia as we literally character assassinate those who are fighting for us on our own territory. Isn't that quite incredible? And I don't know what it's going to take for people to understand that these criminals and traitors and treasonous politicians in power who are a part of the pedo-satanic network, they have to tell you exactly what's going on. You've only got to look on my wall, that short clip from Brad Hazzard, the New South Wales Health Minister, saying, you just better get used to it. This is the New World Order. Can we spell it out any clearer for you? This is the communist what do they call it? Technocracy taking over. And it will be a totalitarian smart grid of control for everyone. And I was at a barbecue on the weekend, and I won't mention any names, but I know a guy there who I've met through a mutual group of friends who's a police officer. And he told me We had a very frank and open conversation, you know, obviously on different sides of the fence, but very respectful. And he said to me very clearly, he said, you would not believe the new powers that are being rushed through for us. Even he was in disbelief, guys, because this, what's coming, guys, it's evil. Okay, there's no other way to describe it. The people in charge of the psychological operation, they know how to play us so well. And you have to be an incredibly psychologically aware and evolved person to see through the manipulation. And watching the public attack those standing up for our freedoms as they're stripped away from us, that's actually frightening. It takes a lot to frighten me, but to see the masses of people actually vilifying this young lady because she dared to stand up to authority. You know, aren't we the same people who would cheer in the movies when people stood up and resisted the Gestapo, right? Just because it's in a different setting to Nazi Germany doesn't mean that these things can't happen here. And here is the police acting very much like the Gestapo, putting an entire state under lockdown for pre-crime or for the possibility of having a bad pneumonia, although you're showing no symptoms. This is incredible, guys. And I'm saddened. I'm actually very saddened to see the state of Australia right now attacking our own people. You know, every time you go on any form of media right now, you're going to see a world at war with itself. Everywhere you turn, the world is at war with itself. And guys, this whole mess is very, very easily fixed. Very easily fixed. And it comes down to the premise, it's actually a common law premise of do no harm. It's that simple. If you want to play a part in stopping what's going on in any capacity, it means do no harm. And that means as simple as something as your comments on social media. Don't attack the person. Don't attack their character. Don't come from a place of wishing that person harm. Because this is what I'm seeing. The comments, lock that bitch up and throw away the key for threatening our health. Those anti-maskers deserve to get sick and have all their freedom stolen away from them. Those anti-maskers deserve to be in jail until the crisis is over so they don't make it worse. What the hell? You're talking about a 25-year-old young lady in perfect health who deserves to be locked up because she dared to cross the border in her own country? Are you serious? Can you hear what you people are saying? This is scary stuff, guys, because the psychological manipulators have managed to turn fear into a virtue and turn standing up for one's freedom and our national sovereignty as a selfish act. Let that sink in. Standing up for your freedom and your national sovereignty is now perceived as a selfish act and something that deserves punishment, imprisonment, and God knows what else. So have a little think, Australia. Have a little think about the psychology that happened in Nazi Germany, the power of psychological warfare, and have a little think about the ideals that our ancestors fought and died for, because every single one of them is under attack right now. And many of them, many Australians are cheering the loss of those ideals. And that is absolutely staggering, guys. So please come back to the basic premise of how we can fix this and how we can come back together is, first of all, do no harm. Stop attacking your fellow Australians who are standing up for your constitutional rights. Understand that the powers that have been rushed through are a globalist agenda that our country has agreed to as part of a universal smart grid that is being built that will see the complete restructuring of our societies, the complete reallocation of populations and the complete reallocation of resources. Guys, please be awake, be aware, end the attacks, and recognize the people who are fighting for the simple freedoms to be able to have your face showing, the simple freedoms to be able to breathe oxygen freely, the simple freedoms to be able to cross your borders and move within your own country freely and at your own will without having to be subjected to an interrogation by armed officers. Come on, guys. This is Australia. Let's keep it Australia. Over and out.